Hey guys, today I wanted to address something that I've been asked recently on Reddit, and it's how I handle my devices when they become unavailable, or unresponsive rather, when I'm away from home. Now if you're like me, you might work 5, 10, 15, not really, 8 or 10 hour days, where you're actually away from home, or you might be on a vacation to where you can't touch your rigs and you don't know what to do once they actually go offline because of a hard stop. So what can you do to automatically bring your rigs back online? Well, you have two options. You can just simply buy a switch so I'm going to use the WeMo Insight as an example. I also have a few Insteon devices, and I've been playing around with home automation for a while, so I have my collection, but my WeMo Insights are by far my favorite devices to use on this. Now, it doesn't matter if you're using Linux or EthOS, which is just Ubuntu, or Windows. This solution is pretty much going to work for all of them because it's all based on the app and this little device here. Now, you can use either the WeMo Mini or the WeMo Insight. I prefer the WeMo Insight because you get a lot more statistics from it. I'll throw up a picture of my screen here with just one of my miners on it, where you can see that the additional details that you get with the Insight that you wouldn't get with the Mini. So power consumption, current wattage usage, and that's pretty live. So if you want to manually refresh, you just hit the little refresh button, or it's just a few seconds to refresh it. But it'll calculate your power based on your power consumption. So I pay 12.9 cents per kilowatt hour. I input that into the app, and bam, it calculates my monthly usage based on my current power. So my cards are undervolted, so you can see I'm using less than 800 watts on a rig of 6 1070s. So just to give an example of what you'll see in here and why I prefer the Insight, I'll have a link to that right here and down in the description if you guys want to see it. So it's pretty cool stuff. It's what I use. That's what I'm going to base this tutorial off of. So instead of wasting more of your time, let's just jump right into it. Alright guys, so the first tool we're going to need is Spiceworks Network Monitor. Again, you're going to want to run this on a computer that's going to be up 24 hours a day. So go ahead and go to this link and download the Spiceworks Network Monitor. It's about 200 megs. Once it's finished, go ahead and run it. And then it'll launch over to localhost. So in your browser, go to localhost port 8080. So localhost :8080, and it'll bring you over here to your dashboard. First thing we need to do is configure your thresholds for alerts. So click on your settings and set your threshold. So by default, it's 1 minute and 30 seconds for your devices to report that they're having an issue. Go ahead and turn off all this other WMI stuff. So if you have something checked for memory or disk or whatever, go ahead and just turn all those off. The only thing we care about is host is offline. And just make sure this little tick box is checked with a little green email. This says it's going to send you an alert in that amount of time. So you can lower it anywhere from 8 seconds all the way up to 3 minutes, whatever floats your boat, however fast you want to be notified, and then your problem fixed. Once you have that done, go ahead and go over to your devices. This is where we're going to add a new device. But first, there's some prerequisites we need to check within our Windows host. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the miner in question and just go over a couple things that we need as a prerequisite. The first thing we need to do is we need to turn off Windows Firewall, or at least allow ICMP. ICMP is a ping request. So if we type Firewall, open up Windows Firewall, go ahead and just go to turn Windows Firewall on or off and just turn it off. Easiest way. If you're just mining, people are going to give me flack for this, but whatever floats your boat. Turning it off is the easiest way to do it. The next thing we're going to need to do is make sure that we have a static IP address. So go ahead and right click on your Windows flag and go over to network connections. So click on change adapter options, and then we're going to right click on Ethernet and go to properties and select Internet Protocol version 4 and then properties again. Now, by default, you're going to have these boxes checked, obtain automatically. So we're going to want to use something manually. If we already have something assigned and we want to make sure nothing else is going to take it, we need to find out what that IP address is. So go to Start Run, launch command prompt, type ipconfig, and you're going to look for this address, IPv4 address. So 154, 192.168.1.154. So we're going to go back to here and we're going to set that address in the box, 192.168.1.154. Netmask fills out. Set your gateway, which should be your router. Usually it's just .1, so go ahead and fill that out. Hit OK, hit close, and that's it. Now you have a static IP address. That's the first part of the puzzle. Next thing you'll need to do is make sure you can log onto your computer without actually having to enter your password. So when you restart, you're going to want to restart your computer and automatically log in. So if you click on Start Run and type netplwiz, just like that, you're going to have this option here automatically checked. User must enter a username and password to use this computer. Well, we don't want that. So we'll untick that. We'll click on Apply. It'll ask you for your credentials, so go ahead and enter those. And hit OK. It'll ask you to restart. You don't have to do that, or log off and log on. You don't have to do that now, but we will need to do that before we go ahead and finish up here. Now we'll need to put our miner and our overclocking software into the startup folder. So again, Start Run, and this time we're going to go to shell :startup, and this is your start menu startup folder. So I copy my Afterburner and my batch file for Claymore into it. So you can right click on your bat file for Claymore and go to Send to Desktop Create Shortcut, and it creates this shortcut right here. So what you'll do is you'll copy this, paste it into the startup folder, and you'll go do the same with the shortcut for Afterburner. Lastly, what you'll need to do in the BIOS is turn on your option for what to do after you have experience a power loss. It's different in every BIOS, but what you want to do is automatically restore it after power loss. So automatically turn on after power loss, not last state. Auto power on, because otherwise, if your computer was off, then the power went off and back on. Your motherboard knows that, so it knows it lost the AC power while it was off, and then the last state would be off. So make sure it restores power to on once you experience AC power loss. So now we're back in Spiceworks in the network monitor. We're going to click on Add a Device, and all we want to do is check if the device is online. So we know the IP address, it's 192.168.1.154. Our device, I know this is my miner 01, so I'm going to call it miner 01. Check type is ping. We don't care if anything else is on these services, so once we're good, and once the ping's up, then we're fine. So we'll add a device, and our device is added. So if this device would happen to go offline, let's edit these device monitor. So we're going to monitor that it's offline. If it is offline for 1 minute and 30 seconds, it's going to send us an email. So that's what we care about. So now we're gonna go ahead and just trigger to make this offline. So I'm gonna set this threshold down to, let's set this threshold to, I've been saying email alert at. So now when I restart this device again, and it's offline for 6 seconds, we should trigger an alert to our email that we're going to need to use for if this then that. Now look at that, the device actually went offline just like we'd hoped it would. So since the device is offline and it sent us an alert, we can go ahead and just turn our threshold back up. So let's go to more details. Where were we? Actions, edit device monitors, and we want to change our threshold to the defaults. So this is what our email looks like, and this is what we'll actually need to know as our subject line. So new offline alert for this device from netmonitor.em.spiceworks.com. So I'm just going to pull up Notepad and put both of those values in here just so I have them. And what we're going to do is create a new Gmail label. So when things come in like that, they'll be labeled as such, and we can create an action in if this then that. So click on your little gear icon here and go to settings. Then we're going to go to labels, and we're going to create a new label. So we're going to call this, we're going to call new label miner monitor. So that's our parent label. And then for each device we have under it, we're going to nest under there. So miner monitor, we're going to nest it under there. And miner 01. Now that our label is created, we need to create a filter based on that label. So go back to your inbox and click on that alert. Click on the little drop down box next to the reply icon and click on filter messages like this. Subject should be the subject of the particular email. From should be the email it comes from. Now we need to create a filter with this search. and we want to apply the label of miner monitor miner 01. Create filter. Perfect. So now that we created this filter, the next time an email comes in with that alert, it should be sent automatically to this filter. The next thing we need to do is create an if this then that applet to forward our device over. So in the WeMo app, click on more, then click on connect to IFTTT, if this then that. You'll be presented with your PIN, then go ahead and just click on connect and follow the steps through to connect to your if this then that account. Next, you'll need to visit if this then that on the web, log into your account, and we'll create a new applet. So if this then that, click on the little plus. Our first service is going to be Gmail. So if Gmail, we're going to want a new email and inbox labeled. So the labels are case sensitive, so we'll need to make sure that that is correct, otherwise it won't actually trigger. So we'll need to do miner monitor slash miner 01, just like that, and create trigger. That, then we'll need to use our WeMo. So we'll use our WeMo Insight switch, turn off, then on, apply to our one particular switch, and create action. And that's it, guys. So if you need a WeMo Insight, which I do recommend, you can click on the link right here or down in the description, and that will show you exactly where you need to get it. You can get it right from Amazon. It's 45 bucks at the time of writing this video. So I would pick one up, and just so you have minimized downtime. To me, losing a couple minutes with my rig is worth being able to bring it back online. It'll pay for itself the first day or two when it actually goes offline and you're not able to come back and put it back on. So use your best judgment with that, but that's the way I do it. That's the easiest way to do it. And if you guys have any questions, ask me down in the comments, or you can visit the Ether Mining subreddit at reddit.com/r/ethermining. Thanks, guys.